Welcome, everyone, to the Boiling Point podcast. We're here with our Northern York School Board meeting, and they should be getting started here in just a minute. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. We're not live to Rumble tonight. We're having a problem connecting with their services, so just on YouTube and Facebook tonight. I don't know if we will have a meeting, an after show after the meeting starts or not, so I'll place it up in a ticker if you should stay tuned or not. I believe the meeting is going to be getting started, so I'm going to take myself off and unmute the screen and wait maybe just a few minutes for it to actually begin, but it shouldn't be long now.
Yeah, that's fine. And I would just have to go through it, show me how to.
No, he can walk me through it. That's what he did with me. He walked me through it. So.
Yeah. You're gonna do that looks.
Yeah. Well, I got it too because to attach to my bike when I do trails. So, but it kind of doubles for this too. It's not as fancy as Jessica's, but yeah. The main reason I got it was for budgets. So
Yeah. Just hopefully I'll have it charged. But I always have it.
Yeah, I do too. I always bring the portable.
Yeah, it should be. I should be okay for that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just I'll let them know because that's I think the only dates that throughout the summer that I'm not available.
Yeah, because it might be the committee meeting might be that week's far away.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be here for the committee meeting.
Yeah.
So it's the second and the third. Is it the second or the third?
Sometimes it will change.
Well, I know it's the 24th. That's the school board meeting is the 24th because it's 2 days after this. 2 days after. Yeah, that's the only reason why.
And are they leaving right after school ends?
They're going to be there for 8 days. Yeah, it's going to shortly after school.
Yeah, I forgot to ask her because Julie's one that came along to the meeting last night. And he was all like not happy about being there. It was the 6th grade.
Yeah, Joey's on work.
And she wasn't happy, so she just kind of as soon as it was because I wanted that and I forgot because I was like, oh, you're a trip. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're so old and mature now. This is the last one before they get to school. Yeah.
So one thing, a good thing, your son, 17.
No.
He's going to
How are you doing? Did you guys get to Rodeo?
But anyway, so at the 6th grade meeting,
I went to election, so I don't post.
there's hours and work the things needed in the middle school.
All right, good evening. Thanks for coming out. We'll get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the minutes for April 15th, 2025. So moved. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And approval of agenda as presented. So moved. Second. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mr. President, I'd like to amend tonight's agenda. Our business manager is not here tonight, so I would recommend we delete item 3, the business manager's report from tonight. We can add that at the special meeting next week.
So, sorry, I'll second that. Any discussion on that? Good, so approval of the agenda as amended.
Yeah, we already got a motion in a second, so we need to approve the amendment and then go back and approve it, so we just gotta vote here.
So, all in favor of removing item 3?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Motion carries. All right. And then approval of agenda as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Sorry about that. Recognition of the public. Start with that. So first public comment period is for comments related to items on the agenda only. We have your name, so you don't need to give us that if you don't want. As a reminder, public comment is limited to residents of the school district. Citizens' comments or questions are welcome with a limit of 5 minutes per presenter. Questions and comments concerning individual staff members, students, or your own children's problems will not be addressed at the public meeting. Your comments will be given consideration by the board. However, the board may choose to not provide a response on your issue this evening. And we'll start with Jennifer Brand.
You're right. Oh, is this on? No. Is it on now?
Is there a little person icon there with a button?
Yes, there
Is
is.
it green?
It is now. Can you hear me?
Give me one that works.
Okie dokie.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Hey. Hey, we're cooking with gas now. You were right. It's bran, like the muffin with an extra N. You were correct. I want to start off my comments with a story. Oh, by the way, this is about policy 253. When I was 9 years old, I went on a church retreat with my family. I loved to swim, and I was in the pool with the elders and other children. One of the fathers, who was respected in our church, was holding me in a way in which I couldn't escape and telling me that he wanted to teach me how to do the lambada. For those who don't know, lambada was known as the forbidden dance. It's exotic, originating in Brazil, performed by 2 people who hold each other closely and gyrate their hips suggestively in synchronized movements. I was embarrassed, sexualized, humiliated, and 9. Do you know who's never assaulted me or made me feel uncomfortable? A member of the trans community. As a matter of fact, statistically, children are more likely to be assaulted by straight white men of an average age of 38 than they are of a member of the trans community. But this is all about protecting the children, right? Do you know that transgender people are over 4 more times more likely than cisgender people to be victims of violent crime? Did you know that transgender teens with restricted bathroom access are at a higher risk of sexual assault according to a Harvard study? Harvard looked at data from a survey in 2019 of 3,700 teens aged 13 to 17. It found that 36% of transgender or gender non-binary students with restricted bathroom and locker room access reported being sexually assaulted in that 12 months. Biological sex under Trump's executive order is defined as man or woman. This is scientifically incorrect. The idea of 2 sexes is very oversimplified. 1 in 1,500 babies are born with ambiguous genitalia, and up to 1.7% of the population may have some form of intersex variation. There is a spectrum of sex. Are you going to have a spectrum of bathrooms and locker rooms? And who is going to enforce the policies? Quite frankly, the obsession over students' genitalia is very troubling to me. Restroom and locker room access has become very politicized. I know that there are currently folks proudly proclaiming themselves as racists and bigots on social media and national television. Currently, they even feel empowered to march along the streets as recently as this year, 2025. It will be those who will be cheering you on for enacting policies that contradict SNL's legal advice per Pennsylvania's laws. The fact that that doesn't upset people or make us feel disgusting should give us pause. I know that nobody's going to care about my statistics or comments. We're clinging to some fantasized echo of the past where people were in closets. But change is coming whether we like it or not. These kids see you. They see that you don't see them or care about their well-being. So tonight, after the vote is against them, when we go home and bask in the approval of bigots, remember that these children will be growing up and will run over us. And that last comment makes us feel attacked or uncomfortable. I humbly request that you sit with that feeling and ask ourselves why. Because that level of introspection is how we're going to bring positive change to our amazing, diverse community. And this is a non-issue. How about we focus our energy more on pressing matters such as the crumbling middle school and how $3 million of the taxpayers' money has already been wasted with nothing to show for it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Sue Rizzo.
Hi, I'm Sue. I'm also going to talk a little bit about policy 253, which is the bathroom policy that discriminates against kids based on their gender identity. Although I've done some research about this topic, I don't feel like I'm an expert. So today I'm going to read what our paid solicitor, Saxon and Stump, advised. I know you've seen this on paper, but I want to make sure you're listening again tonight before you vote. Recently, we were given advice about the Title IX key issues from our solicitor. And this is what they said about the scope of the executive order. Executive order only applies to federal law and policy, not state laws like the Pennsylvania Human Relations Act. And this is what they said about bathroom and locker room policies. Schools are not required under Title IX to have sex-separated bathrooms. Pennsylvania law allows transgender students to use facilities aligning with gender identity. And this is what they said about the definition of sex. Pennsylvania defines sex to include gender identity, gender expression, and sexual orientation, which remains enforceable. And here's what they said about the Pennsylvania law interpretation. Now, the ILC policy is citing 24 PS and 7740, and that talks about biological sexes in restrooms. So the Saxon and Stump position argues that 24 PS and 7740 should be interpreted under Pennsylvania's broader definition of sex, allowing gender identity basis access. And this is what our paid solicitors say about legal precedent. Doe versus Boyertown Area School District in 2018, where the Third Circuit ruled that transgender students using facilities consistent with their gender identity does not violate privacy or Title IX. And this is what they recommend as future policy changes. They recommend schools wait for additional guidance before making changes, as no immediate enforcement changes have occurred. And I also have another, policy that they had recommended we implement as our education law experts that we pay and trust. Instead of policy 253, they have a draft policy 711, which I'm sure you've seen. And I'm going to read from that, just one paragraph. If we were to enact the policy they recommend, our policy would say this: the board recognizes that there are students whose gender identity may not align with their biological sex. In this instance, a student may use the facilities corresponding with the consistent assertion of their gender identity by requesting accommodations through the district's process. School personnel shall assess the specific needs of individual students on a case-by-case basis and discuss the needs and concerns of students with them and their families to apply the provisions of this policy in addressing the students' needs in the school environment. And this is what we currently do without having it in policy. We look at these kids on a case-by-case basis and find out what they need and what kind of accommodations the school can make to address those needs. It's not too much different than the special education accommodations we heard so much about last week at the committee meeting. All of our kids are different. They have different needs, and some of our kids identify with different gender identities, and their needs also need to be met at our school. So now that I've read a little bit about what our experts have to say,
30 seconds.
I just want to add that we should stop pretending that we're following the law with policy 253. Clearly, we're not. And when we break the law, we open up ourselves to costly lawsuits.
Thank you. Christine Morris.
All right, so I want to start off by saying thank you to our members who are trying to bring our vision, right, the actual district vision of our belong, become, be Northern, to include a space for all of our kids to feel safe and grow into the people that they're going to be. So I'm going to start off by saying thank you because the rest of it may not be so much. So I do believe there are several board members who have either lost sight or forgot what we're actually here for. We are here for the kids. We are here to make sure that they succeed, that they feel community, that they belong. That's our whole motto. Become, belong, be Northern. The policies that we're enacting are not aligning with that. Paul Miller is our policy committee member, which really has been unfortunate, as I have yet to experience a time where you've exemplified any of those values that we have. I urge you to remember that our website also, aside from having our mission statement, our vision there, confirms that we follow the anti-discrimination rules dictated by Title IX. While I'm sure the argument is the executive order, I took a visit back to 4th grade social studies, where we learned about all the different branches of government, checks and balances, all that fun stuff. Just because it's an executive order doesn't mean that it is implemented everywhere, that is the final thing. It is not a law. There is no guarantee that that's going to become the law of every land and state. To avoid legal trouble, I would advise following the suggestions of Stock and Leader. I really, really wish that we would spend less time trying to ban books and all these other things, and even less time thinking about what's in the underwear of our kids. That's all I've got.
Thank you very much. Sorry, just give me 1 minute. Sorry about that. Just wanted to make sure we were good. Joe Rizzo.
So I'm also speaking about policy 253. I'm disappointed this board proposed that Title IX policy or interpretation on the advice of the ILC, which is an extremist hate group that considers executive orders to be laws rather than consider the recommendations of our paid solicitor, Saxton and Stump, which are more aligned with Pennsylvania law and established case law. The fact is, the proposed policy increases the district's legal exposure to potentially devastating lawsuits. Has this board learned nothing from what happened in Dover 20 years ago? Their board took a similarly extremist stance that ended up costing the district taxpayers plenty and cost the board their political futures. More importantly though, the draft policy is an attack on trans kids, children in this district, children who as a group are more vulnerable and at risk for teen suicide than any other group. For this board to use its time and power to specifically target any of our children is reprehensible. Lest you forget, you're in a real mess, financially, reputationally. Make no mistake, the middle school situation is egg on your face. It's embarrassing. Building a new school cheaply and quickly will be no small task. Neither is rebuilding the trust and goodwill that you lost when you voted down the renovation. In fact, I'm positive that the only way you'll be able to come out ahead on this will be to focus your efforts on rebuilding the middle school 100%. So I recommend you stop targeting our students, stop playing political gotcha games, and stop taking lousy legal advice from the ILC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the rest we have for at the end. We'll get into our reports and Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Thank you, Mr. Kyle. Just wanted to remind the board that during the May 28th special meeting to approve the new superintendent, we did just move an item over to that agenda as well. So that will be a voting meeting. Public is invited. Public comment is welcome. And I did want to note that the time for that is 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. We usually meet at 6:30, so please do make a note of that. So that's the first piece. And then secondly, we always enjoy recognizing our new hires when we have the opportunity. I believe we have 2 here tonight. So if that, we just have one? Okay. So one didn't work out, so I'm anxious to see which one we have. And I'll turn it over to Suzanne.
Sure. So I'm going to, thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Steve Lehman to introduce our newest faculty member at the high school.
Good evening, thank you. We are proud to announce the hiring of a new Spanish teacher. We have been without one all year. Certain students had to go online to finish when one of our teachers left this year. Our other existing teachers had to take on an extra course or two throughout the year. So to have the position filled is exciting. We're bringing forth tonight Mrs. Elizabeth Roan. She is from graduate of Westchester University for Bachelor of Arts. She most recently is working at Bermudian Springs High School, and we are bringing her to Northern. And one really interesting fact that is going to be a benefit to all of our students, especially our Spanish-speaking students. Elizabeth lived and taught in Mexico for 20 years or more. So she has been immersed in culture and will bring that side of things, not just the language, but the culture with her to Northern High School. And she will be starting with us in the fall, and we couldn't be more excited to have her. Thank you.
Yeah, Elizabeth, do you mind coming up? You're welcome to say a few words. English or Spanish?
Buenas tardes. Mucho gusto. No, mucho susto. That's kind of a joke if anybody understands Spanish, but yeah, I'm actually a graduate from Mechanicsburg High School, way back in. All right, but I did have friends that graduated from Northern, and our daughter graduated in 23. She was from the class of 2023, Amelia Roan. So I'm really excited to come here. It just kind of the pieces came together. Because in Bermudian Springs, because due to decreased enrollment, they they no longer needed a second Spanish teacher, and I had been there shorter time. And when I found out about the opportunity here, I said, yes, Northern, go to Polar Bears. So I'm really excited to start. I've been talked with Heather Zerby, and I'm excited to work. There's really a team spirit there in the world language department. I'm just looking forward to getting started. Yeah. So thank you. Oh, and I have been paying taxes these 10 years that I've been residing here. And today I voted for somebody to I'm not even sure who it is, but yeah. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations. We're excited to have you. Student liaison, Ms. Hubbard.
Okay, so I don't think my mic is working, so I'm just gonna talk loud. Right now we have 3 weeks left, or 14 and a half days. Even less for the seniors. For the seniors, their awards ceremony is May 27th, and graduation is June 12th at 7:30 at CLA in Camp Hill. AP and Keystone testing at the high school wraps up this week, and the math Wall of Honor ceremony is Wednesday, 6/4, for students who scored 700 to 800 on the math PSAT or SAT. Over 50 students are volunteering at the elementary school field days this Friday and next Friday, and our prom was a success this past Saturday. In Minithon, the annual junior versus senior powder puff game is next Thursday, May 29th on Bostic Field. And in sports, track and field has a number of state qualifiers: Dylan Duncan, Anna Lehman, Annika Barrett, Carson Hall, Lauren Host, Josh Drika, Kara Kidwell, and Alexa Rank, which will happen at Shippensburg, May 23rd and 24th. Everyone else's in the sports world season has finished, and baseball won the Colonial Division. The chorus concert and art show are tonight at 7 at the high school.
Awesome, thank you very much. And we also have intermunicipal. We typically don't have anything, but I did see Mr. Anderson sneak in the back doors. So anything you want to say? You're good?
No, I'm good.
All right, everybody's good. So, all right, CAIU, Mr. Schwilly.
Thank you, Mr. Kyle. Just an update, the CIU, we approved the CBA collective bargaining agreement, and the board was tasked with completing the superintendent evaluation this week as well. So we're lining up those two things. The CBA is pretty much the same as it has been in the past. Also get to report tonight on the Cumberland Perry CPC report, because I was pinch hitter for Mr. Weir.
I was gonna say, thanks for doing that, but also you got to enjoy the view from the culinary arts.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. So,
Good stuff.
you guys have realized how good he has it. So the food is outstanding and the company is great. So that was quite a lengthy meeting, covering for Greg, and a lot of time was spent on the fuel leak over there. There's a lawsuit coming from the PA American Water Company, and that's the lawsuit is negotiation pending. It's gonna take some time to get that all resolved. So that is a result of the fuel leak. They also completed their collective bargaining agreements, and it's a 4-year contract. And they also completed their superintendent evaluation form online. I think Greg completed that this week. So that will be my reports, unless there's any questions. Greg, I'll gladly go back anytime.
All right.
Oh, and their awards program is tonight, and I think the district is being represented by Mr. Labuda. Is at the awards presentation tonight for Cumberland Perry.
We appreciate him filling in for that. Mr. Weir, anything to add, or?
No, one of these years I'm gonna get to go to their awards there.
Make sure we'll work around coordinating that. So, All right, Polar Bear and Ms. Portlamay.
I actually have nothing to report yet. Last month they canceled the meeting, so there was nothing to report from last month, and the meeting for this month is tomorrow. So I will have something next month for everybody.
Perfect. All right, and moving on, curriculum, Mr. Becker.
Thanks, Mr. Kyle. There's one Mobile Day conference in Texas, and then we're to move by consent items A through E, which we talked about. So, move by consent, all of that. Questions?
Second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Athletics and activities, Mr. Schwilly.
Thank you, Mr. Kyle. I move to approve by consent letters A, B, and C.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Budget and finance, Mr. Rudy.
Mr. President, I would move to approve by consent items A through G.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Buildings and grounds, Mr. Gunn.
Mr. President, I move to approve by consent item A in building and grounds.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Policy, Mr. Miller.
Mr. President, I move to approve by consent items A and B.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
No.
Motion carries. And board operations, nothing there. Moving on to personnel and Ms. Portlamay.
I would, with consent, move to consent, or approve by consent, oh my gosh, one of these times I'll get it right. Letters A through, I've got a couple pages here. U with amended item number G.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And then items for board action.
Mr. President, I would move to approve the agreement for child care services with the Mechanicsburg Learning Center to provide before and after school and summer care at all elementary buildings from July 1st, 2025 to June 30, 2026.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, I would move to approve the service agreement with Care Solis Incorporated for mental health and substance use care coordination services for July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move to approve the agreement for school-aged education services with the Capital Area Intermediate Unit for the 2025-2026 school year.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move to approve the security services contract with G4 Security Solutions LLC for extracurricular events for the 2025-2026 school year.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move to approve the Every Student Succeeds Act letter of agreement with the York County Office of Children, Youth, and Families for the 2025-2026 school year.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, I would move to approve the agreement with CAO LA Services with the Capital Area Intermediate Unit beginning April 11th, 2025.
Didn't hear you, sorry.
Yeah, it didn't come on.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, I would move to adopt the 2025-2026 final general fund budget and set taxes to be levied as follows. Real estate tax mill rate, 20.3350. Per capita tax imposed under section 679, $0. Per capita tax imposed under Act 511, $0. Reenactment of the 1.25% earned income tax at the collection rate of 0.75%. Reenactment of the 1% realty transfer tax at the collection rate of 0.5%. Reenactment of the amusement tax rate at 10% shared with the municipality. And that these taxes be adopted to finance the 2025-2026 budget, which calls for expenditures in the amount of $70,477,440 and revenues in the amount of $70,528,817.
Any discussion? All right, and we'll have a roll call vote.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mrs. Boardman?
Yes.
Mr. Gunning?
Yes.
Mr. Halaki?
Yes.
Mr. Kyle?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
Mr. Schwilly?
Yes.
Mr. Weir?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And Mr. President, I would move to approve the homestead farmstead exclusion resolution at the following rates. Farmstead exclusion $4,988, homestead exclusion $9,976.
Second.
Any discussion? And roll call vote also.
Mr. Weir?
Yes.
Mr. Schwilly?
Yes.
Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Kyle?
Yes.
Mr. Halaki?
Yes.
Mr. Gunning?
Yes.
Mrs. Boardman?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Thank you very much. And new business.
I do have an item. Mr. Kyle, with apologies for the last minute nature of this, the administration, Angie, has come to learn that there is an interest in our girls wrestling program at the junior high level. There's upwards of 12 students at this point. We expect there to be more. So the administration is requesting 2 junior high coaches. There would be the junior high head coach and an assistant at 48 and 45 points respectively. That's about a little bit more than $2,000 and a little bit less than $2,000 for those amounts. With these 2 positions in place, it would mirror the boys junior high wrestling program. Ideally, what we'd like to do is post this with the rest of the winter 25-26 coaches, which we do post in June, and that's why I'm bringing this to you now. I'm not going to ask you to vote on this tonight, but I wanted to bring to your attention tonight so that we could possibly vote on it in June. So with the board's permission, we would post these positions with the other coaching positions as tentative, and then the board would consider to approving these positions at the June board meeting. Mr. Grishkovich is aware. He's had conversations, Angie and he, back and forth about this need, and he's in support of it. Also, Mr. Schwilly as the athletics chair, Greg as the collective bargaining agreement chair, and Mrs. Bordelme, Mr. Lackey and Mrs. Bordelme as the personnel chair are aware as well. So just looking for a kind of a nod to move forward and bring this to the board in June.
There's actually a provision in the collective bargaining agreement in our MOU for wrestling, so this is in line exactly what it says. So.
Very good. We'll move forward with that then. Thank you.
Any other new business? All right, in recognition of the public for comments related to non-agenda items only, again, kind of the same 5 minutes. We've got a few that are kind of lumped together, so we'll start with Mr. Galen Cow.
So 2 weeks ago was Teacher Appreciation Week. Don't feel like I remember hearing anything about that last week. I didn't hear anything about it tonight. I just wanted to show some appreciation for our amazing teachers at this district. My wife and I are extremely lucky to have 2 very smart girls. But we know that we can't take credit for that entirely on our It takes teachers to massage their brains throughout the day. My daughter literally one day came home saying, my brain feels like a rotten sponge, but she felt all the better for it. So thank you to all the teachers out there in our elementary, middle school, high school level who are challenging the students of this district, making them better learners, exciting them with learning. Yes, a lot of discipline and interest in learning is rooted in the home, but it's undeniable the impact that a teacher can have. I guarantee you, each one of you can remember the name of your favorite teacher from school and the way they changed your life, the way they changed the way you look at the world. So just a big thank you to the teachers out there who are in the trenches doing seriously challenging work sometimes, whether it's discipline issues or just, trying to get through these last, 14 and a half days of the school year. Like, they're going crazy right now. They need all the love they can get. So thank you to all of our teachers.
Lisa Winger.
I asked you to go first because what I have to say sets the basis for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Barry Decker, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Correct. So I know some of you on the board, and I'm not going to be a person who would typically just jump up. Obviously, I got to move the mic, so I apologize. My name is Barry Decker. I live at 30 Pheasant Ridge Road. So what I'm bringing you tonight, and I really do hope to keep it to 5 minutes. Please look at your email. I sent to each one of the board an email. Nobody responded back to me at all, even an acknowledgement that you received the email. So given that, I'm going to read you a lot of what I sent you. Okay, I try to trim things down. All right, so I'd like to address the issue of transitional services that are offered in the high school for children in the special education program who prepare a transition out of high school into the real world. We need a transitional coordinator on the team who can help prepare our children for their future. I am a parent of a 17-year-old boy, Braden, who was born with trisomy 12p mosaic. That is a chromosome abnormality that occurs when there is an extra copy of genetic material on the short arm of the P of the chromosome 12. Features that often occur in people with trisomy 12p include macrocephaly, which is unusually large head, abnormal muscle tone, characteristic facial features, developmental delay, and intellectual disability. Braden is a child that is happy and tries hard to do his best in school. He has a one-on-one to help him do his work and remain safe in the school. Just like many children in the special education program, he is excited about school and enjoys being with his classmates. Being in the special education program, he is excited about school. Being in the special education program comes with challenges that we have seen during the past 2 years at Northern High School. So I'm going to bring this to your attention. Roughly 2 years ago, Braden entered high school and was placed in the PACE classroom. All the way up through elementary school and middle school, we were confident in the curriculum and teachers that Braden had. We maintained good communication and knew that every effort was made for Braden to succeed. Once he hit high school, that was not fully the case. In high school, the communication became minimal and opportunities for him to learn life skills that would be relevant to his level of need was limited. My wife and I became very concerned about what could be offered for him. We did not know what the future is going to hold for him once he graduates from Northern. Many students at Northern, the motto is intellectually prepared, civically engaged, personally responsible. We believed this when our daughter graduated in 2021, since she was a regular education student. We also see how this is playing out, properly for our younger daughter in high school. However, this is not the same case for our son with special needs. As parents, we grew more discontent for Braden's future. We started speaking with other parents of students in the PACE classroom and found out that they had the same frustrations and displeasure with the classroom. We started to meet together and decided to bring our concerns to Northern as a parent group. In August of 2024, we started to meet with Dr. David Burrell, the principal, and some others from the administration to discuss our concerns. Fast forward to our most recent meeting with staff from the high school and administration. We had our third meeting on May 13th. This meeting focused on questions and requests that we have had since the beginning of the school year. One issue, it has been difficult for the teacher and the high school admin to develop and run a proper transition program for the students in the PACE classroom. We were informed of all of these available services and efforts that are being made by Northern for special education students, but it is apparent that parents are not being well informed, and there is some disconnect between the functions of the school district, admin, and the high school. The expectation for Northern High School is for the PACE teacher to have knowledge of transition planning and what transition services really are. It is an overwhelming task that has not been productive. Transition services are defined in the Federal Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, known as IDEA. An individual who could really help with this piece of the puzzle is a transition coordinator or transitional specialist. They are responsible for the following: providing information and training to secondary special education teachers, assisting in the development of the IEP, establishing networks of support for families and students, developing and sustaining collaborative relationships with outside agencies, such as vocation rehabilitation agency and service providers, building long-term relationships with employers and community organizations, advocating for needed changes in school or district transition programs, coordinating both on and off-campus employment opportunities for current students. These requirements cannot be fully handled by a special education teacher.
You're good. Continue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you
Yeah,
had a
no,
question
just,
or.
Well, the time, you're past time, but we were gonna give you more time.
yeah.
That's all you're
Okay.
discussing.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, because I
Thank you.
definitely want to hear.
All right. So these requirements, I apologize, I'm trying to repeat here. These requirements cannot be fully handled by a special education teacher. The primary role of the special education teacher is to provide instruction, including instruction specifically related to transition skills. They generally have neither the time or the flexibility to sufficiently focus on the wide range of program level transition related activities. Matter of fact, this is part of that information I'll provide from Vanderbilt that's in your email. We have seen that in the high school, the special education teacher does not have the proper support to handle the vital needs of special education students in transitioning out of high school. There have been parents who have become so frustrated that they have either removed their child from school or threw their arms up in the air and gave up, hoping for a different outcome once their child left high school. It is not viable for parents to try and find out on their own what is available for their child if there is not a proper avenue or resources to figure out a plan. The system is failing. Our hope is that you will hire a transitional coordinator for the Northern York County School District. There are several schools in the area that have a transitional coordinator, such as Dover High School and Mechanicsburg High School. I'm about ready to wrap up. Additionally, there's a great article about Montour School District and the relationship they have with Slippery Rock University that have made this position a reality. I also included that link in my email. You guys can take a look at that. We are aware of efforts by State Representative Mark Anderson to propose a bill for schools to be required to appoint a transitional support coordinator. We ask you to take this opportunity to consider and discuss with us the request further. We are willing to assist you in any effort, okay, to make this position a reality at Northern High School, as this is a vital role missing for the success of transitional planning for students with special education needs. We hope the school board will rise up and lead this district and show support for our children with special needs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I know education is hard enough, let alone special education, so thank you for bringing that. Lisa Wenger. I'm gonna go back to my 5 minutes.
Slow this down. It's okay, mine's shorter than Barry. I don't talk as long as Barry. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Lisa Wenger, and my son Zachariah is also in the PACE classroom at the high school. My husband also went to school here. I went to Bermudian now. He has been in the school district since kindergarten. As many of you know, the transition from high school to life after graduation can be daunting for any teenager, but for students with different abilities like ours and parents, this transition can feel especially overwhelming. These young people often leave our schools without a clear plan, work experience, and without support they need to thrive in employment or independent living. When my son came to the high school a few years ago, the classroom was half the size and there was someone in this position, although basic, as a part-time paraprofessional. We were told when he came to high school, our focus would be on life skills and employment. I feel there are currently not a lot of CBIs, which is community-based instruction, because of current staffing. Each student is lucky if they make it out once a week for an hour or so, and there's currently 11 students in that classroom, each with their own IEP and goals. In my opinion, it seems as though their teacher has her hands full. During football season, their class is also responsible for washing football jerseys, and my son loves the relationships he's built with the football players from the program, but it's one more responsibility that ultimately falls on their teacher and staff. I'm here to strongly urge the district to hire a transition coordinator, not just adding responsibility onto the current teacher. This role would be someone dedicated to helping our special education students bridge the gap between school and adult life. This person would be an advocate, a coach, a connector, working directly with students, families, employers, and community services. A dedicated coordinator could make a powerful difference by bringing focus and follow through of potential opportunities with local businesses that benefits everyone. Our kids want to be like everyone else and find meaningful work to contribute to society, and many of them need a little help practicing social skills, getting out of the classroom and into real world settings where they can explore careers, learn job skills, and build confidence is key. Our goal, as is yours, is to ultimately make Northern better. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Michaela Decker.
Good evening. My name is Michaela Decker, and actually, so those are my parents back there. So I am the 2021 graduate, and this one of the students that they're talking about is my brother. That's my brother, Brayden. So I currently am a student at Shippensburg, and so one of the things that I had the great opportunity of being part of at Shippensburg was the job coaching, or a program called Hire Me Sales. So I know that this wonderful group back here is talking about hiring a transition coordinator, but I also wanted to share with you a program that I have been part of as a college student working with the Big Spring School District. So they actually were able to have students from their special education class come to Shippensburg University and work with us students, and we were job coaches for them. A lot of them worked in the greenhouse, in the dining hall, and various other places around campus as actual employees. I coached 4 different students during my time there, and I was just helping them clean tables, but it wasn't just cleaning tables. I was working with them on how to talk to their boss, so how to ask them what tasks needed to be accomplished, working on maintaining eye contact with those people, and working on manners and how do we ask if we need to use the restroom rather than just walking away. It was simple tasks like that, but each one of them had goals that they were working towards each semester, and us college students got to be part of that. And I know that these students from Big Spring really looked forward to joining us on campus 2 days a week for 2 hours. That was a total of 4 hours that we got to work with them, and they got to go back to school and pick out prizes if they accomplished their goals. So that was something that Big Spring School District is working with Shippensburg University to do. I know Northern has a very similar thing where I know my brother does wash tables, but he doesn't have those set goals that the Big Spring students did that we got to work with. Again, I know you're here to hear about hiring a transition coordinator, but this is also a program that I believe would be very beneficial to the special education department here at Northern. Thank you.
Shannon Decker.
I wasn't going to speak, but my husband told me I had to. So I'm sitting back there writing, but again, you heard everything about Brayden. And most can relate, our youngest daughter is in 10th grade, going into 11th. She doesn't have a clue what she wants to do, but she can go to the guidance counselor, she can go to the teacher, she can have a reasonable discussion about, hey, what classes should I take, what should I do? But Braden, he can't come home from school and tell us anything. Sorry, gets emotional. Myself here. This is why I don't talk. But anyway, people say, well, we have the Office of Independent Living coming in, we have OBR coming in, we have this, we have that. But Braden can't come and tell me what he talked about, and that communication piece doesn't come to us. Sure, we have pieces here, pieces there, but nothing ever gets communicated down to us, the parents. Braden's not gonna make his own decisions. We're gonna be making his decisions for him. But yet they're talking to him like he's making those decisions. He's not gonna be able to do that. So that's why it's important to get somebody who can direct us as parents of what our options are. We'll call OPR. OPR then says, we don't start till they're 2 years out from graduating. So we can't do OPR. We say we get told to go to MHIDD. Well, Braden's been a part of MHIDD for the last 2 years. Then they're saying, well, there's this, well, there's that, but there's nobody who can direct us all together. No one who knows all the pieces who can bring it all together for us. We're parents and we're just trying to figure out what we're gonna do with our kids after high school. They can't make those decisions and we gotta make them for us, but we're not informed enough to know. And the things that I assume that the school district is supposed to be helping us with is those job training skills and evaluating what he needs. We're getting, oh yeah, we're going out, we're doing wiping tables. Are you evaluating how he's doing? Are you telling me that that's a skill that he has or doesn't have? No one has those pieces to be able to tell me that, yes, he's getting better at it, no, he's not. So we're not doing a good job of evaluating what pieces our students need to be successful, to even hold a job later. So we're missing all these little pieces. Sure, we might have a decent base of knowledge. I know Rhonda has a great knowledge of different things, but she's administration and it's not trickling down to us. So that's why, and she has enough on her plate to do her job, let alone to try to coordinate more for our kids. She's a wealth of knowledge and she's a wonderful person. But again, we need somebody who's dedicated to just, not just PACE classroom. This would go district-wide, whoever has an IEP that needs transitions. There's students in the intensive learning support in the same boat. We've talked to those parents as well. One was supposed to come tonight and she had to back out because of homework. I know another student, her student was pulled out because they weren't following her IEP. Her mom pulled her out, said she can't even fill out a job application. She doesn't even know the first thing about holding a job. These are the pieces of kids that are falling through the cracks. We can't let our special needs kids fall through the cracks, not provide them with an opportunity to be a successful person out in the community when they graduate. Even if they stay till 22, they still need to have skills to move on, to be needed, to feel important. That's about all.
Thank you very much. Get your mind.
Hi, my name's Mandy Myers. My son is Dalton Day, a 10th grader in the PACE classroom due to his intellectual disability. We moved to the Northern York School District when my son was in 2nd grade. I chose to move my son to the Northern School District based on recommendations from his caseworker at the time and the school performance profile, which showed me that the school district had a very good education programs. In an elementary and middle school, I would have agreed. I've already sent 2 of my older kids through the Northern School District. My son Josh is in his 4th year of apprenticeship to become a pipe fitter, and my daughter Andrea is heading to York College to major in the medical field. This shows me that the Northern School District can provide our typical students with outstanding educations, but we're failing our students in the special education programs. Now we move forward to my son Dalton in high school. I've witnessed my son struggle to stay afloat in the PACE classroom, learning life skills, let alone learning additional life skills that need to become a successful adult. There has to be a better way. That is why I've attended every meeting that has happened with the school administration and the Northern York County High School staff. I will say I've learned a lot from the staff and the administration, especially those who have put forth the effort to make Northern better and help the special education program. It's very difficult though to move forward when the Director of Student Services, Dave Burrell, will not attend or even respond to us after the first meeting. The priorities are somewhere else. This is devastating to me because I see Northern to be a school with an amazing program. This is a problem and the reason why our students are failing. Everyone needs to be involved for the good of all of the students. This brings me to my main point that we need a transition coordinator in the school district to help students of any kind of learning disabilities get the help they need to become successful in their endeavors of whatever their future may hold. A transition coordinator can help compliance monitoring, IEP management, IEP coordination, transition planning, community-based activities, help with data management, and that's just to name a few. The special education teachers have become completely overwhelmed. How are they to handle all this? How do you expect them to handle all this? The teachers are expected to handle all the academics and the community base and the life skills without any help by their side with the transition coordinator. To me, this is completely unacceptable. Many of our bordering schools have transition coordinators to get help to the students so that they have the best future. This position is a must for Northern, and I believe we need to move forward and provide what is needed to all of our students at Northern York County School District, typical or atypical. Let's make Northern great together. Thank you.
Mr. Schwilly. I told him before he talks, he's getting cut off exactly 5 minutes on a bit over.
Weir said I could have his 5 minutes.
Okay.
Just wanted to talk and bring the board up to speed about some goings on in our school district, specifically to Carroll Township and Franklin Township. They're looking to build, discussions are taking place about a data center being built. And this data center would be quite large, 750,000 square feet in each municipality. It's a very large building. Very large buildings. It will encompass the 163 acres in the vicinity of the King's Kids Camp. The millage realized from something like this would be each township would receive $863,000 a year in tax revenue. The fire company would receive $133,000 a year in revenue. York County would receive $3,127,000 a year. And Northern York County School District would receive $9,127,000 a year for if this would go through. Now this is a very popular thing to have in your school district. We're competing with other districts who want these developers to come and build these data centers. There will be no traffic as far as truck traffic. They would employ about 100 people for 3 shifts. And there's still some bugs to work through with Meta and supplying power to these. It involves companies like Meta and Microsoft for this location here. So it's something that's very exciting. I would ask our board to get behind. Our township supervisors had some little discussions with some of those and support those and get our community involved because this will be a great windfall for the Northern York County School District. And Mr. Anderson, I have a few minutes left if you would like to add anything. You're good? Did I cover everything? That concludes my report. Thank you.
And 55, not bad. All right, items for future agenda.
No, I was just going to say that's a lot to unpack with the transition coordinator and to analyze. I'm thinking in the next couple of months that you'd have a chance to look at that and come back to the board with analysis of where we stand and
last meeting, as far as having our meetings a little more transparent within the district website, and making them live. And there is a local podcast, and this really is a part of it. That gentleman and I spoke, and he said too, if you need help or if we need help or avenues or whatever, he's got some recommendations on how to do it and set it up. Or my thought was including our students. We have a wonderful student liaison here, but we also have so many different avenues as far as education goes and classes. But we've got some tech kids, to be able to maybe include them in it also, and maybe get them some experience broadcasting or what may have you, or even the journalism kids, or I don't know what that looks like in a whole. This is me rambling, but that was kind of my thought, like helping include the students into it also.
And we have that for discussion for next month, so you can bring some ideas and talk with those. Thank you.
Maybe we can talk to some of the teachers and stuff like that too, and maybe help, kind of round that out with the kids.
Awesome, thank you.
I have one other, Mr. President. ILC was invited into the district for 3 policies. Tonight was the last of 3. I think we need to have a conversation on what that engagement looks like with them moving forward, because in my opinion, our engagement with them is done. Unless the board decides it wants to expand it beyond the 3 policies that we currently have approved. So I think we ought to have that conversation.
He's on for next month.
Mr. President, I'd also answer policy 253. I think is a little bit different than some of our other policies, and it's a few steps from recent changes and directives from the federal government. I think it'd be worth us getting an update from Mr. Labuda in a month or two. Specifically, one of the questions that was asked previously related to the executive order was about directives to the federal agencies to initiate these plans or provide a plan of implementation with, I believe, a 90-day timeline associated with it. That 90-day timeline hasn't sunsetted yet, hasn't come to fruition. So I think just so that we're staying on top of something, most of our policies are relatively minor changes and are quite potentially balancing back and forth based on political climate and leadership. So I think that may help us understand if there's any changes or modifications or updates that need to be associated with a more actively managed policy.
Thank you. Yep. We'll figure it out and have some discussions. We'll go from there. Anything else? All right. How about adjournment?
So moved.
Any discussion?
Yeah, we're gonna have an executive session for personnel, and I think maybe, personnel.
So, all right, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries, and don't forget, May 28th at 6 PM, we have a special meeting. So thank you for coming.
Okay, everybody, the meeting is concluded. A real short meeting this tonight, so that's always good when the meetings aren't as long. People don't have to stay, so that was good. I don't know that Julia was coming on to do a post show tonight because, again, it was a short meeting. Doesn't look like anything crazy that is happening or anything that needs discussion or further follow up. Give me 1 second. I do believe she just messaged me. Okay, she does want to do an after show. All right. So Julia does want to do an after show. It probably has something to do with happened right at the beginning of the meeting. I believe one of the parents were speaking, and I believe I wasn't able to listen to a lot of the meeting this evening. But I did overhear some at the beginning, and I believe a woman had a problem with the boys and girls sports or that policy or the bathroom policy, something along those lines, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll find out from Julia in just a few moments. I believe she is rejoining us right now. Julia, are you with us, or do you need another moment?
No, I just had to turn my volume back up.
Oh, I understand that.
So, and I gotta fix.
Yep, you picked the camera, but that's okay.
Fix my camera.
It's okay. It's okay. As I said, I was telling people that, but I don't really think we were really planning an after show. And then when you messaged me, I was like, okay, it might be something that happened at the beginning of the meeting that she wanted to address.
And okay, I still had it set to back, so sorry about
Yeah,
that.
I understand. Nope, it's all good. So
yeah, I just want to discuss real quick about the policy that went through and because there was a lot of
yeah, there was a lot of speakers I noticed at the beginning of that. One of the women speakers at the beginning was is it about the boys and girls sports?
It's about the bathrooms. It's about the
That's what I thought. I was gonna say, yeah, I was like, it's not the boys and girls sports. It's got to be like the bathroom policy, which is all associated. It's all that the reason that it's hard to keep straight sometimes is because it's all the same thing. It's boys and girls shouldn't be dressing, playing, or going to the bathroom in the same place. That's just the way it is.
Yes, I mean it's just people don't understand a lot of the fact is we accept federal funding, like the school, because the school accepts federal funding. If the executive order isn't followed, it loses that federal funding.
You can lose the federal funding.
Yeah, and that's what I don't think these people understand. I understand that the states are sovereign when it comes to certain laws, but there's certain laws they have to follow federal law.
Yes, that's right. And
executive order, sorry, I understand the executive order is not federal law right now, but it still stands. Unless it's made law or a new president comes in and changes that executive order. So
yeah, exactly. And President Trump is well within his rights to pull federal funding from any school not following his executive order. So, and talking about the federal funding, because in the West Shore School District, people are talking about, hey, it's just, if we don't follow these laws and we lose our federal funding, but so what? That's what, we can make it on our own. Some school districts can't. And I don't think the West Shore School District would be able to make it without federal funding either.
Yeah.
And there's also a difference between standing up against an executive order that might be incorrect or not right and making a stand on a hill that is worth making a stand on. This is not one of those hills. This is the hill where everything is this is good things. Like the executive order should be followed because it's the right thing in the first place.
Yes.
So choosing this hill to die on, it's the wrong hill. You're on the wrong side of it anyway. So you're going to lose even if you choose this hill.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, it's it's just a lot of people just don't understand, how it, I'm a Constitution coach. I do Constitution classes. You know what? These people come and take one of my classes and you'll understand how this thing works. And so it's just, and I was a little disappointed that there was one school board member that voted no.
Oh, who was that?
I believe it was Greg Halacki. So I think he was the only one that voted no to this policy. So it passed 8-1.
Yeah, actually, that's a good segue into a good an announcement that I've been saving for. I don't know how many viewers we have tuning in right this second, but I'll cut this out so that people can get it. And of course, I'll be posting on the social media page. But I got reached out. Several of the Northern York School Board members have reached out, or at least one has, and said that they're interested in coming on an episode. Him and some of the other conservatives want to come on
Great.
episodes. So yeah, that would be great. I told him to hit me up and let's schedule a time. So that's not on the books yet, but they have, reached out. So we're discussing times and what day and stuff like that we can make the schedule work and line up. So we'll be having more of the school board members on in the coming weeks as well.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, me too. They reached out to me. I was like, yes, of course you can come on. Because some of them are running for re-election. So I don't know if it was Renee from her episode, if she spread the name or spread her. I know you've been saying our name and stuff too, but it seems like something else happened or maybe they saw the episode with Renee and they liked it. But
maybe,
yeah, we got reached out to some of the I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. Sorry. It's been a really long and hard day for me. In Pennsylvania right now, the weather is, we got rain coming in for the next 2 days, and my body knows when it's going to rain. I don't even have to check the weather. I didn't even have to check the weather to know that there was rain coming. And I had physical therapy yesterday. So my body is very much like seized up like a rock right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, I'm forgetting your name, whoever reached out to me. I apologize for that, but it's been a long day.
Besides Renee, there are 2 other board members that are in our parents group. So they were in the parents group long before they were in the board. So they probably saw, if they didn't get it directly from Renee, they probably saw the interview.
Yeah, I was going to try and look it up, but unfortunately my computer is also not really working the way I want it to today also.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, here we go. Yeah, David Hazen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's not on the board yet. He is.
He's running then.
Yes, he's running. Yes.
Oh, and he wants, and he said about there's 3 other Republican candidates that want to come on the show.
Oh, that's okay. So the candidates, that's great.
So yeah, I misread it. I apologize. I thought they were school board members. I misread the message, or I remembered incorrectly.
They will be school board members. But yeah.
Well, especially once they come on the show. I mean, once they come on the Boiling Point podcast, then they're locked in.
Yeah.
Hey, it's primary day in Pennsylvania. I am claiming that a little early. We don't have results in, and I wasn't myself. Like I said, it's been a really hard day for me physically. I wanted to do like maybe a clip or something with somebody that was at a polling place. I didn't get a chance to do that either.
So,
but if some of our candidates won today, then I can start claiming that for real.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's one that I've looked into, and I'm very happy that he's going on the board. Last year, my son had his wife for social studies, and she was a wonderful teacher. She's a teacher here at Northern. She is a wonderful teacher, and my son really, really loved her class. So
yeah, that's exciting that they reached out to us. So
yeah, I'm very, very happy about that.
Yeah, we'll hopefully have them on here over the next. It's him and 3 others, I think, that want to come on. So I've only spoken to David so far. Okay. So I'll get him scheduled here probably within the next week or 2, and then we'll see if I can coordinate with the others or how that's going to work.
Okay. All
so,
right.
So still pushback on the policy.
Yeah,
the bathroom policy, which is of course completely ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as boys and girls sports or them changing in the same locker room.
Yeah, it is. But
as long as the board's able to hold up, though, like they can go and complain all they want. The board just unfortunately has to sit there and listen to it. That's, when you're publicly elected, you got to listen to complaints you don't agree with. That's part of being in office. But as long as the board understands that the majority of the people are happy with this policy, remember, it's when people are content, that's when you don't hear from them. Okay. Yeah. And some of the other people may be loud and they may be able to show up in numbers, but if you look at them, it's like an illusion. Okay. Because we just faced it. We just saw it in the West Shore School District. There was a whole bunch of people at one of the recent meetings and none of them spoke for the first time. The conservatives outnumbered the liberals. It was like a 5-to-1 ratio at this meeting. And I found out later that the reason none of them spoke was because none of them were from that school district.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's the illusion. They appear in great numbers, but they're actually not your constituents. So always be aware of that. That's one of the tactics they like to use. They may show up in force, but half those people or most of them might not even be your constituents and might not even be able to vote for you, even if they wanted to. So, always remember that it's not always about the people who are the loudest or people who show up in force. You got to listen to all the people. And when you don't hear from the majority of them, then you're doing the good job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we spoke about it in the beginning, but we don't feel the need to continue month after month to basically beat a dead horse. We already know where the board members stand. We already know how the vote is going to turn out. We get up, we speak our piece once, and then leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, and you're going to keep seeing them. Like, they're going to keep coming up until you change the policy. They're going to keep commenting every week, but that doesn't make it the right decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So, and to any school board members who are running or going to be running, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to have you on an episode also. Even if you're not on our side, liberals, you're more than welcome to come on too. Just be ready to stand up against the cross-examination. So that's all I ask is if you're a Democrat, you're from the other side and you're coming on, be prepared. Even if you're a conservative, be prepared for the cross, especially if you're coming on because you're running for election, be prepared to be questioned. I'm not here to handhold people. I'm here to get to the truth of the matter. Even if you say you're a conservative, even if we share the same values, I'm still going to put you through the ringer. That's part of coming on the show. Julia and other guests, people who help the show, they don't get put through the ringer because but when you're coming on to promote yourself, you're going to get questioned. All right. Anything else then you wanted to address, or just that
Nope, that's it.
The loudmouths are still complaining about some of the policy between boys and girls, but they can keep howling for all they want as long as the school board is going to stay strong. It don't matter.
Yes.
Let them they have free speech. Let them keep utilizing the free speech. As long as the board holds strong, then let them keep showing up and talking to their blue in the face.
Mm-hmm. Oh, exactly. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Julia, for coming on, and of course for helping to let us be able to show the school board meetings. Leave us a comment for anything that you would like, questions or comments. Please leave them. Don't forget to hit that reaction button. That is the biggest thing. You hit that reaction button, you share it out. That's huge for the algorithms. That really helps us get in front of more people. So please please hit those buttons and visit our storefront. Sorry, that was my brother sneezing in the background. Visit our storefronts, bonfire.com/store/the Boiling Point Podcast, and pick up some of our new apparel and our new designs. And we have even more new stuff coming in the next few weeks. So keep checking that out and pick something up and support the show. Until next time, Julia, thank you. We're done with that for this month right now.
Yeah.
Not until June.
Well, there is the 28th. They are going to be doing the final interviews and for the superintendent. So if you're interested in live streaming, that I'll leave that up to you. It's the it's I think it's going to be they're going to vote on the superintendent.
On next Wednesday. Okay, we'll look and see if we can put that on for everybody. I don't know, even if we can't do a live video, we can still likely get a recording and then air it, post it later, even if we can't do it live.
Yeah.
I don't know that we can do it live. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that next Wednesday we're going to be doing it live, but we can at least probably get a recording and then share it out afterwards. So yeah, I'll talk to you. We'll talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. So, because I know that's a big deal because like our current superintendent is retiring, so that's kind of a big deal. So
yeah, no, it is. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we'll see if we can at least get that recorded so that we can at least show it, and then maybe we can do talk about it after we show it or something like that. So yeah, we can probably make that work. We'll talk after the episode's over. Until next time, maybe next week, but stay tuned. We got other episodes, we got other content coming out, so always stay tuned to the Boiling Point Podcast. For Julia, I am your host, JD, and that's the end.
Bye.